the COVID-related rental repayment plans. Now, 9 months ago, everybody was talking about, is the tenant impacted? How has it affected them? What are they providing? What evidence are they providing to show that they're an impacted tenant? Have they provided evidence of their income pre-COVID and post-COVID? And are they getting JobKeeper or JobSeeker or, what other, and because all of that comes in it. Is their household income affected more than 25% decrease? All of those things to work out whether they're an impacted tenant. Hasn't changed. Okay, we're still there. We're still in it. As far as at this point in time, it's, that whole period of impacted tenancy is still running through till March. Okay, so, that's still there. And that's really important that you make sure that if somebody is on a repayment plan, that one, there's documentation about that there's a proper agreement between the agent and you as the agent and the tenant, that your landlord is very aware of what's going on, because, guys, if something goes wrong here and it ends up in tribunal and it's all hearsay, fairly confident that you as an agent are going to be sitting in the middle of this not very happy, okay, from a NCAT perspective. So, you need to think about you need to actually do. You actually need to make sure that you have documentation and an agreement between the agency representing your landlord and your tenant actually stating, this is the agreement, this is how much you will reduce by, this is how you'll be paying that back. Unless, of course, the landlord has actually agreed that they will waive that. Some cases they've agreed to waive a small amount, repay an amount. So depending on what that is, and again, same deal happening in there for what's happening in commercial. So making sure that you are still aware of impacted tenancies and how you are dealing with that and how you are putting everything in writing. Most of you have heard me talk for years and years and probably decades about the necessity to have these types of agreements in writing, whether they're via email or whether it's actually signed agreement on what that repayment plan will be. It's got to be evidentiary, okay? Otherwise, it's going to come back and bite you later. And that's not what we want to hear. We don't want to hear those stories. We want to hear that, what's happening is happening the right way. So, so that's one aspect. But certainly those rental repayment plans, now's the time you want to be starting to look at those, and maybe if the tenant is still impacted, then talking to your landlord, talking to your tenant about where to from here. Document the discussions, okay? Document the agreement that you come to and how long that is for. That it is for the next 2 months, you will then revisit it and document it again. Whatever that outcome is, document it, get it signed or get an email agreement that it has been acknowledged, okay? I just feel that this is going to create problems in the months to come. Heard a couple already, but just have this feeling that, and I don't want to be hearing this as an issue from agents, because you guys are property managers, you're working hard enough to sort this out. In the last 9 months, you probably all spent extra money on getting rid of the grey. So, or you've pulled all your hair out by now. So, please get that sorted, revisit it, look at your tenancies for the properties that you manage. Look at your practices. We're back to it, whether it's this week, next week, or the week after. It's the beginning of the year. We can make lots of new decisions. We can look at our goals. And we've all been talking about our goals this week, and we'll share some of those with you in the next few days with some fun posts. But in terms of where you're going, you need to look at your practices. You need to have a look at, yes, COVID's here for a while. It's not going where everybody thought, next year will be so much better. Well, next year's here and it's not better. And the practices you've been working on hard for 9 months, you've got to maintain those practices. Everybody's jaded by this, and you start looking at the individual and the emotions behind this. A lot of people are stressed, and that's you as agents, that's your landlords, that's your tenants, that's your people who are selling and buying. Mind you, from what we're seeing, I saw a post this morning about, property ended up at the end of last year with a 3% rise over the COVID period. Yay. But everybody's still there, and COVID in some way is affecting everybody. So people are just operating at a higher level of anxiety or stress, and we need to remember that. So when we're dealing with people, we need to think about how we're doing that, how we're talking to them, and sometimes we're the I guess the beneficiary, not in a positive way, of people's stress, and that comes to us, and again from our clients in terms of our landlords, our owners, our vendors, and our purchasers and our tenants. So, again, we need to get past that complacency. Remember that we're dealing with a whole lot of, we need to look at our daily practices. We need to talk to our clients. Property managers, you need to talk to your owners. How are they going? If the repayment plans aren't coming through for them, and they, somewhere down the track, they look as if they've been impacted financially and they're suffering financially. What documentation have they got? Start talking to them about if we're going to have to take this to tribunal to terminate because of financial hardship for the landlord. What documentation have you got? Much easier to have those discussions on the way through and not 10 all happening at once when something goes wrong for people. So I guess my third point is have a look at your practices, have a look at just your business dealings and talk to your clients and have those discussions about, are they okay? So whether it's are you okay day or not, I think we should be asking that way more frequently. How are they going? Just connecting with people and seeing what you can do. We are a customer service industry. What can we do to help our clients? Yes, we get paid for that. That's what a customer service industry is. So it's more about making sure that you've got the right information, that you're talking to them, that we're not becoming complacent, and that we're living through COVID and making the best of what the surrounds are. Yeah, and trying to say we're not going to let it overrun our life, but we certainly have to consider it as every aspect of what we're doing.